Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Very appropriate. A little bit of Enya and Sail Away. Simon, I hope you're out there on our live stream, and welcome to anybody else who is watching. 6 o'clock in Sweden in the morning. So welcome. I know you'd love to be here, but you're here. You're here in spirit just as much as you're sitting in the seats with us. You know, ladies and gentlemen, one of the wonders of this world is that you don't know where the fingers of knowledge come from. I said to Yvonne and David earlier, I was down the street about an hour and a half ago and came out of Office Quip, and I hear this big loud voice, Peter, rouse me up. Believe it or not, out of everything that could have happened today, this fella's name is also Peter, and he worked with Dennis way back in the days when he was working with McColl's. And Dennis actually flew up to Mackay, where Peter was working, because he got ill, and Dennis and Peter worked together. So out of anything that could have happened today, the one thing that Peter did say was that this man to whom we pay tribute today was always concerned with the welfare of others. And I think if that can be said in the back street of Bairnsdale on Monday the 26th of May, I think that's just an amazing tribute to this man. Good afternoon to you all. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We gather today to mourn the passing of Dennis George. We gather to say our final farewells, and we gather to pay tribute to Dennis's long life of 90 years, almost 91, I think, if I'm correct. And I've got to get all these names right, ladies and gentlemen, fraught with danger. Let's see how we go. Put your hand up if I've missed you. Linda and Ian and Sylvia. Desmond and Yvonne and David and Tyler and Kelly. And for Ben and Lauren and Adrian and Stephen and Simon and Nicola and Ty and Jake and Alexander and Amelia. And the wee ones, Brody, Ethan, Steiner, Christina, Hudson, Sam, Sadie, Lily and Isadora. How'd I go? Each of you have lost a central, very much a central pillar of your family. A loving partner, a dad, a stepdad, a grandpa, a great-grandpa, and as we can see today, a friend. The impact he had on you all is amazing. We know our collective hearts are broken. But I ask, is not today a day of smiles as well as tears? Think about that one. Smiles that recall memories. Tears at the memories that break our hearts. That Dennis is no longer with us. This fella, cheeky and full of life, I've been told. And yes, even during his health difficulties, Alzheimer's, he was as deaf as a post. But whenever anyone visited Sutherland Lodge, it was high fives and thumbs up. He's an amazing man, this man we pay tribute today. I say it many times. He was very demonstrative and enthusiastic at everything. And doesn't that photo reflect that? I put down that he had an absolute thirst to live his life to the full. And we might hear that again too, I think, but I hope we do. I really hope we do, because that's what he has done. Even in his mid-80s, up at 1770, that beautiful little spot up the coast, Dennis stood up on a paddleboard. Just think about it for a second, and you're welcome to try it at any time. He was a yachty, he was a caravanner. However, he was a kayaker. In later years, Linda was the pilot in the caravan journeys. He was a very accomplished sportsman, and I hope we're going to hear lots and lots of stories about that later on. He was a Melbourne storeman, and we're going to hear that, I know that. Although a couple of weeks ago they did get beaten by the Sharks. Couldn't get beaten this week because they had a bye. Now, Simon, Stephen, where are you? Yes, I figured that might be you. At 70 years of age, this man, 70 years of age, his first tennis match down at Meetung. And there was two fit young fellas that were up the other end of the court. Simon and Stephen, grandsons. And guess what? The old fella prevailed. Is that true, Stephen? Yes, I was told not to mention that too much. That's how it is. And he actually, 70, and he actually did a somersault to celebrate. Such was his enthusiasm for the win. It's amazing. Dennis loved his Linda. He was very protective of her, did his very best to please her. He simply wanted to please his lady. He was fiercely proud of his family. Fiercely proud. And their achievements. He simply adored his family. So today is very, very much a day to reflect on the wonder of our life and times with Dennis. It's also a time to give thanks for the blessing of having had him in our lives for all these years. So please, as we move through our service, I'd ask you, bring back your favourite memory of Dennis and hold it close. Sometimes you find words that appear simple on the surface, but when you dig deep and think about them, they show up very strongly. It's called As We Look Back. As we look back over time, we find ourselves wondering, did we remember to thank you enough for all that you've done for us? for all the times you're by our sides to help and support us, to celebrate our successes, to understand our problems, and to accept our defeats, or for teaching us by your example the value of hard work, good judgment, courage, and integrity. We wonder if we ever thank you for the sacrifices you made to let us have the very best, and for all the simple things like laughter and smiles and times we shared. And if we have forgotten to show our gratitude for the things you did, we're thanking you now. We are hoping that you knew all along just how much you meant to us. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I mentioned earlier about memories. Yvonne, you're going to come up first, please, and share your memories. And then Linda's going to hobble up because she stubbed her toe gathering flowers, and I'm saying it might be Dennis saying, I'm around.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for being here today to gather to celebrate a remarkable man, our Dad. Dad lived an incredible, energetic, and he lived with incredible energy and determination. He had a zest for living that was infectious, and he never backed down from a challenge, especially if it involved something physical. One of the things we'll always remember about Dad is his spontaneous love of singing. His voice was strong and full of joy. Often it was met with groans or cries of, "Dad, Dennis, shush." But deep down inside, we loved it. And when the singing eventually stopped, we missed it. We missed him. Our Dad's other great passion was rugby. He was fiercely loyal supporter of the Melbourne Storm. Watching a game with Dad was not a passive experience. He lived every tackle, every play as though he were on the field himself. He especially loved mentoring our son, Simon. It was completely normal to have a rugby ball flying around the house, or Dad teaching Simon how to take a player out without injuring yourself, or using the table to work out strategic plays. Sport was in his blood. He wasn't just limited to rugby though. In his younger years, he played golf. He even received the holy grail of a hole-in-one. Of course, he joked that his game went downhill from there. Dad never saw age as an excuse to stop moving. He played indoor cricket later in life. Even into his 80s, he was still kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding and sailing. I remember going out on the water with Dad and Linda and watching Dad glide across the water while I struggled to keep up with him. That love of sport carried through to his grandchildren in many different ways, whether it was sharing a game of backyard cricket, cheering from the sidelines, or offering coaching tips. Dad took real joy from being involved in sport. He encouraged us in every area of life, not just sport, but academics as well. This wasn't in my speech, but Ian said, I have to share. Des got special coaching. In fact, we all used to bail out of the house when Des's school report came home. Just because he got that extra bit of coaching. To our Dad, what mattered was the bond that we shared. The moments of play, the memories made. In the end, that's what family meant to him. Even as he got older, slowing down was not part of his vocabulary. He was always outside with Linda, usually building rock walls in the garden. He never stopped moving, never stopped creating. Of course, life with Dad wasn't always easy. He was strong-willed and occasionally, let's say, contrary. I'll never forget the day Linda rang me in disbelief. "Your father has taken all of his clothes off in the front garden," she was saying. Apparently, she told him to take his work clothes off before coming into the house. So Dad thought stripping off in the front garden was the best solution, and Linda was horrified. I, on the other hand, I couldn't stop laughing at the mental image of Dad, completely unbothered, stark naked, out in the front yard. And if their neighbours are here now, I apologise if they saw anything. But that was our Dad, a man of his own mind, full of surprises and always completely and genuinely himself. So while today we feel the weight of loss, we are also filled with gratitude. Grateful for the memories, the laughs, the love and the lesson. Dad leaves behind a legacy that lives on in each of us, a legacy of strength, passion and unwavering spirit. Dad, thank you. Thank you for your songs, your support, your sense of humour and your larger-than-life presence. I also want to thank Linda. Your dedication and love meant the world to Dad. You gave him care and companionship, and we are so grateful to you. Thank you, Linda. Finally, Dad, we miss you, we love you, and we will never forget you. Thank you.
I said once before, they're brilliant memories. Beautifully executed, well done. Come on, Linda, come on. Kelly, you're going to come up.
This is my tribute to Dennis. Dennis was my loving partner for 22 years. We were lost souls when we met, but we went on to share life and some great adventures together. As a partnership, we were able to do things which we wouldn't have attempted by ourselves. Above all, Dennis loved his family and was immensely proud of their achievements since arriving in Australia in December 1963. I would like to thank the George family for welcoming me into the fold. Dennis forged a great relationship with my son Tyler and daughter Carrie, and he became a very special person in their lives. My grandchildren adored and respected him. They couldn't wait to get into the house to spend time with him, running up the driveway, calling out, "Grandad!" I'm now going to tell you about a few of Dennis's life experiences you possibly don't know about. In his 80s, our adventures included walking holidays in the UK, not sitting drinking tea, but hiking up the challenging mountainous terrain of the Lake District, Yorkshire Dales, and climbing Snowdon, the highest mountain in England and Wales. Some sections we had to clamber up on our hands and knees. Dennis didn't let his gammy knee hold him back. He always soldiered on, no matter what. In Devon, Cornwall, and my home county of Dorset, we also walked many parts of the Southwest Coastal Path, sections described in the guidebook as severe. This was proof of Dennis's fitness and determination. Our share in the 39-foot offshore yacht provided us with the opportunity in 2011 to sail up the east coast of New Zealand from Auckland to the Bay of Islands, with Dennis putting his navigational skills to good use. We did this just the two of us. With others, we also sailed down the east coast of Tasmania in gale force conditions and up and around the Whitsundays and further north from Cairns down to Hinchinbrook Island, enjoying up-close sightings of dugongs and whales along the way. Whilst in the Whitsundays, we kayaked from South Mission Beach out to Dunk Island and from Chute Harbour to South Mole Island, with a humpback whale, mother and calf, passing rather too close behind us. Dennis never professed to be a fisherman. When Tyler was on board with us on one of our sailing adventures in the Whitsundays, Dennis somehow managed to embed a very large barbed hook in his finger. Of course, this happened at our anchorage off Hook Island. We had to rush him back to the mainland so that the hook could be surgically removed. We were all pretty confronted by the whole incident, but Dennis just took it all in his stride and even shared a joke or two with the hospital staff. Our caravan adventures took us up to Agnes Water in Queensland for many winters, around Australia twice, and to Cape Range National Park out from Exmouth in WA. From Cape Range, we ventured out in our kayak to the Ningaloo Reef, seeing an abundance of large turtles, stingrays, dolphins and sharks, and of course some amazing coral. We also snorkeled with whale sharks outside the reef and with manta rays out from Coral Bay. Dennis reckoned he didn't see much of the manta rays, mainly the flippers of the faster snorkelers ahead of him. Of course, they were all in their 20s. In southwest Australia, we climbed up the rungs of the 61-metre high Gloucester tree. Dennis was a bit reluctant initially, but wasn't prepared to let me climb by myself, and bravely followed behind. Dennis was always up for a challenge and prepared to push himself to the limits. During our caravanning adventures, we met some amazing people and they became long-term friends of ours. In 2015, we sailed with 12 others on a yacht off the coast of the Kimberley. This included snorkelling at the Montgomery Reef in crocodile-infested waters with giant turtles and stingrays. On this occasion, Dennis very sensibly watched from the boat. I recall whilst we were swimming at Silica Beach, we had to retreat to the safety of the yacht as a crocodile approached. Dennis always made sure he wasn't the slowest swimmer in the group. One of the highlights of our time in the Kimberley was an exhilarating speedboat ride through the horizontal falls, which was described by David Attenborough as one of the greatest natural wonders of the world. I doubt if many of you know, although this has already been mentioned, that Dennis in his 80s conquered one of his fears. Undeterred by several dunkings, he mastered it and was able to stand up on a stand-up paddleboard for half an hour at 1770. I had to chase after him as he didn't know how to turn around and thought he was going to end up in New Zealand. I think it was amazing for an 82-year-old. A friend commented to me only last week that Dennis lived life at full speed, and at times he was a bit like a bull at a gate. He did things that many a quarter of his age wouldn't attempt. Sadly, Dennis suffered a heart attack in February and spent his final weeks in Sutherland Lodge Nursing Home. Staff labelled him the social butterfly as he went around high-fiving other residents. Mostly, I'm sure they thought he was trying to take a swipe at them, but he was not deterred, and that was his attitude in life. Dennis, you were an inspiration to us all. You lived your life to the fullest. I loved you, and we had a great life together for 22 years. It was a privilege to have you as my partner, and I will miss having you constantly by my side.
Gosh, you certainly filled in those 22 years. Gosh. Time to sit back, ladies and gentlemen, and watch a photographic history of Dennis's life. Two beautiful pieces of music, What a Wonderful World and For the Good Times. And this has been compiled by Dennis's grandson, Stephen. Thank you, Cal.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, and then I'll watch them roll away again. Yeah, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay, 'cause I've had nothing to live for, and look like nothing's gonna come my way. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Look like nothing's gonna change, everything still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain the same. Listen, sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. Listen, 2,000 miles I roam just to make this dock my home. Now I'm just gonna sit at the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
Don't look so sad, I know it's over, but life goes on, and this old world will keep on turning. Let's just be glad we had some time to spend together. There's no need to watch the bridges that were burning. Lay your head upon my pillow, hold your warm and tender body close to mine. Hear the whisper of the raindrops blowing soft across the window. time for the good times. I'll get along. You'll find another, and I'll be here if you should find you ever need me. Don't say a word about tomorrow or forever. There'll be time enough for sadness when you leave me. Lay your head upon my pillow. Hold your warm and tender body close to mine. Hear the whisper of the raindrops blowing soft across the window, and make believe you love me one more time for the good times, for the good times.
See what I say about the memories? They're locked in here forever. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when our tribute to Dennis is at an end, and you're able to, please, the family would love to see you down at the Painesville Yacht Club, Gippsland Lakes Yacht Club, down at Painesville. If you're able to, please make your way down there and share lots and lots more memories. Now, Kelly, you're going to come up. Come on.
Sorry, I'm going to find it in my phone. I sent it to myself as a message, of course, because that's what I do. And
Hang on, she's just responding.
Sorry, I'm at a funeral right now. Dennis and Dad, first, I want to thank you for being my mum's partner. Not only did you make amazing memories together with all your adventures, in the caravan, in the boat, in the garden, or watching the rugby in your recliner, which we knew was your chair. Thanks for stepping in and being that stepdad to me, that role model that I needed in my life, and for being the granddad to my boys, Ty and Jake. I'm sure Dennis's grandchildren have had the same memories. You always treated them with so much love and joy on their faces when they saw you. I will never forget. Swanreach Football Netball Club this week did a tribute to you as they all wore black armbands in your honour. We know that you're going to love that because you loved your sport. Ty and Jake spent their first few years hanging with you guys on a regular basis, travelling in the caravan, going on the boat, getting high fives at any random moment, and somehow they managed to see Bossy Bob everywhere they went, which I'm sure you guys probably did too. Bossy Bob was just this seagull that was everywhere, but it was always a different seagull, but it was always Bossy Bob. The boys will miss your funny rhymes and random songs. One of my favourites was that, and I'm sure anyone that knew Dennis will know, who's that fellow with a big red nose? Well, if he drinks, the redder it goes. And then we would all have to go, ooh, ah, just because he loved it so much. Where am I? Ian, Des and Yvonne and all of the family, I want to thank you for welcoming my mum, Tyler and myself, especially Ty, Jake, Xander and Amelia, into your dad's life. He was an amazing man and we will cherish those memories forever. Love you, Dennis. Thank you.
Well done. You got through that all right? Beautifully, beautifully. I was going to ask what were the songs that Dad used to break out into. Couldn't understand it. Oh, I thought of King Caractacus, just passing him off. You've got to have music in your life. I've got a special tribute from a couple, and this is from Cheryl and Ken. Linda, we are sorry we can't be with you today, but our hearts are right there beside you. We met Linda and Dennis 16 years ago in the hot pools at Mataranka Homestead in the Northern Territory. After that, we seemed to follow each other around for a while, not knowing where each other was going, but finished up at the same place. Consequently, we became very good friends. Dennis and Linda, being a fun-loving couple, we have had lots of good times together, especially our yearly sojourn to Agnes Water in Queensland and our many visits to each other's homes for meals. Great nights, great nights. That won't stop sharing our good memories of Dennis. Dennis and Linda have looked after each other very well, very loving, a perfect match. Linda has looked after Dennis in the later years to a high standard, and we will miss the fun times that Dennis has given us with the help of Linda. Our deepest condolences to Linda and Kelly and Tyler and families, and to Dennis's family, Ian, Des and Yvonne, and all your families. Our thoughts are with you. Rest in peace, Dennis. Cheryl and Ken. I think it is. I think it is. The people you meet in caravans, hey? We found this poem. It's by John Naisfield, and I will refer you back to one of the photos in our photo presentation. There's the big yacht, and it's keeled over the port with a bit of breeze behind it. There's a bit of breeze out there today, and we'd probably be pushing pretty hard. And I think this speaks to us of Dennis and the way he lived his life. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick and the wind song and the white sails shaking and a grey mist on the sea's face and a grey dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day and the white clouds flying and the flung spray and the blown spume and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, where the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and a quiet sleep and a sweet dream when the long trek is over. John Naisfield. Now, we would like to, after the family had an opportunity to come forward to Dennis with some orchids from Dennis and Linda's garden. You are most welcome to come forward after that occurs. And we're going to listen to a beautiful song by Josh Groban, You Raise Me Up. Thank you, Kel.
when troubles come and my heart burns heavy, and I am still and wait here in silence till you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I always feel it's a very, very soft, gentle time. It's time to say farewell to Dennis, but very, very much only his physical body. And I'm sure that he would not be happy in leaving you all, because he would be thinking with his heart and his soul that I've got more to do. I don't want to stop moving. And that's what we take away from today. The fact that this man has been a strong, strong part of your lives. He's left you gifts that you may not even realise yet. But they will quietly appear. It is time to allow Dennis to rest. We are left with our memories, but absolutely wondrous memories. So thank you for all being here this afternoon to reinforce those memories. In our time of cremation, let us now commit Dennis's body for cremation. And in doing so, we acknowledge that we come into this world with nothing and we depart with nothing. However, the wonder of our time on this earth is that we leave behind warm, enduring memories to mark our years and to sustain those left behind. For those of you who like Dennis, may memories be your comfort. And for those of you who loved him, may you hold a sacred place in your hearts and a knowing smile on your lips. And we will say, yes, rest peacefully, Dennis. And there will be no surprise, I don't think, when we announce our final song, as we take Dennis on his final journey. A little bit of Frank Sinatra, I Did It My Way. Thank you all so much, ladies and gentlemen. If you're able to make your way down to the Yacht Club, please do so. Thank you all.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than
Ladies and
this.
gentlemen, can I ask you all to stay?
I did it
The couple
my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway.